Good morning. Happy Sunday, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had some good sleep, some good rest. Siren Jackalope, me, good morning, Hugh Smith. Thank you for being here. Greatly appreciate you. We have a fun discussion. We actually have a couple really cool things to show you. I'm going to try something different with chat. I'm not sure how it's going to work, so I'm trying to see if I can see them all in one pane instead of having so many things open. We'll see how it works. I'm not sure if I'm going to even be able to use it to chat in, but we'll check it out. I'll be calling out people that way. Um, so just bear with me. If the Mint releases some publicly random orders that we might have a shot. Yeah, we'll be talking about that too, Hugh. Um, I get bored fast. Yes, I understand that. Hi, Siren. How you doing, my friend? Good to see you. It looks like there's a lot of stuff in chat. Everyday Opportunity is in the house. What's up, EC? How you doing, brother? Good to see you. Jackalope Herdmaster's here. Appreciate you coming in. Good morning, Paula. How are you, my friend?
I'm good.
I'm like, you can answer,
I'm sipping on
I
my
was like,
coffee.
don't
I always
type.
mute when you're doing your sipping on my
Kid of mine,
coffee.
what's
Good
going
morning.
on? So I want to start off by having Paula show me or show you what she just showed us.
Oh,
She just got a goodie.
I gotta find it.
So
I closed it.
again, looking and being observant and knowing what you're looking for will pay dividends. Paula had the great opportunity to pick up a pretty fabulous coin. So I want to share your victory with everybody if you don't mind. AZ
Yeah, I
Coins,
don't
kid of
mind.
mine, good to see you. AZ, I'll
I
get that
s-
out in the mail today, and I will address it to Dark Skoy. So no problem at all, brother.
And I also got a fantastic book in the mail yesterday from Azure. I don't know if Azure's in the chat or not, but everywhere I've been for the last week since I found out about this, I've been talking about it. I got my
David's
look and feel
Doubloons,
intense.
good day. I don't see Azure in here, but if I see them pop in, I will make sure to acknowledge that.
Okay.
If you guys see Azure Blue pop in, please do me a favor and tag me so that we can do that, or tag Paula or somebody just so we can see it come in. Want to make sure that because they went above and beyond for Paula and want to make sure they get a hearty congratulations. Great Scott, good day all. Hope you're doing well.
So that variety's in the thing.
Pulling it up now. Look at that. Look at that. So
Who in chat knows what that
I
is?
was
Who in
just
chat
about to
knows
ask
what
that
that
exact question. And the first
I wanna
person who
see
says that it's a 1970 S, I'm going to boot him.
it. Me said a penny.
All right, time out for. Just kidding.
Be specific. Be Pacific.
Oh, I know. You
I know
can't
you
say
know.
anything. We know that.
Oh, AZ knows. AZ knows what it is. That's right.
That is correct, and it's an absolute beauty. But there's something special about this. It's not just a large over small date. It's a large over small date. What?
It's a small over large
A
date.
small over large date.
Proof.
Excuse me.
Proof.
But it's a
Class 3,
proof coin.
1970 S cent. It's a proof. And she's a beaut, Clark. Um, it was graded at one point and had gone through a fire. So the person that I bought it from, Leonard, he removed it from he saved it. Of course, you have to remove, once coins are in slabs and go through a fire and it's melted and everything else, that slab is letting off gases and everything else. So you need to take the coins out. There's a little lesson for you guys if yeah. Anyway,
So me,
so
what
it's
you're
got some
looking at,
toning.
real
It
quick.
has
Me
some
says he
pretty.
doesn't see it. I don't know how you can't see this.
Look at the little notches in
Yep. Look
the
in the
and how
notch in the
the
middle of the nine, in the middle of the one, in the middle of the seven. Look at
seven,
how
bottom of the
oblong that
seven.
zero is. You'll see kind of fat and
Yeah,
then
notice the
skinny and then
zero. It
fatty.
looks like an eyeball in the center. It looks like an eyeball. in the center. Yeah.
Yeah, very, very
You should be
cool.
able to tell. You should be able to tell that it's a small. The small date is very apparent on this. So yeah, it's just a really cool. It's one of my bucket listers, one of my bucket list varieties. Well, you probably. I'm not sure if you're really into variety collecting or double dyes. So EC, see the little step off at the bottom of the 7, how
Yeah,
thick the
the
bottom of the 7
diagonals.
is?
Do you have
Either
your
like on the one, the
mouse
diagonal
that you
going
can
down
take
on the
over the top
one.
of that? I'm not sure that it's going to pick that up.
Yeah, and the one, how it's like diagonal at the bottom, and then there's like a little cut out at the bottom of the 9, a little notchy notch. But the 7 is what's most apparent to me. You can see that how thick it is at the bottom and how it has that little step off.
Oops, hold on. I just changed something.
Yeah, it's a really great, and the rest of it is, you can see the doubling in Liberty, and let me get to it. So let me change that. Don't want to watch that video. So there's the whole date. See how thick Liberty is?
Yeah, it's a beauty.
Hello? Oh.
We're just
I mean,
admiring
it's
the
doubled.
coin.
You can see the bottom of the E. It's like a ski slope. It's like sloped to there, and all the bottoms of it, all of it. Like, I mean, it's super thick.
Yeah, that discoloration's because of the fire. But again,
Yeah,
this
it's
is a
so, and also 70S proof coins, the Lincoln Cents tone, they often come out toned. So a lot of you'll find them a lot of times with this bullseye toning that's really pretty. But you can find 70S proofs with some real pretty purples and greens, and those are, you can find them still in the sets like that. So
yeah, the 1 cent is really cool because of how you have the stepping effect on the bottom of the cents. It's a really cool piece. Yeah, it's a beautiful. I wanted to make sure she shared it with you because it's a hell of a cool find. When she told Eric and I, we were both like, "Whoa, that's so cool."
Yes, I do like it a lot. And like I said, I have certain varieties that are bucket listers, and I've always wanted to buy one that wasn't still in the set. But I didn't want to pay huge amounts of money for it because I'm cheap that way.
Like I say, that's a pretty high dollar coin sometimes.
Can be, yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. It can
For getting
be,
it for what you
for
got
sure.
it for, it's a really good price. You did a great job there.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fire sale thing worked out good.
Yep.
It did, I know. And like other varieties that I really want, I really want the 83 DDR, I want the 97 DDO, I want the 84 DDO, but my problem with those is that they're copper plated zinc. So I want to get one that has no plating issues.
I just searched. I've actually got nice ones of all those, and I actually found my 97 DDO in Pocket Change.
What's up, Dandy Dave? Good to see you.
But with the 83, the problem with the 83 that I've come across is the split plating.
Yeah. Mine are both pretty good. They're both red brown.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, the 84 is red. The 65 red. The 83 is 63 red brown.
It was a 70S.
So
it was a 70S.
But my 97 is like EF. It's circulated. And that's actually a tough coin. You don't see that.
Well, I would rather find one. I absolutely would rather find one on my own, and then I wouldn't care if it had plating issues.
Speaking of that, like I've searched for 83s and 84 so long. I had 10 84 tube rolls sitting on my desk. I just searched them the other day. What a man! I cannot. It still hurts every time I look. I always say to myself after I'm done, why did I just waste that half hour of my life? I'll never get it back again. I literally, I bet you I've searched 10,000 rolls of 84p, probably more than that in 83p.
Penny hunting mat with the key dates and dates. So yes and no. I mean, I think most of the coin roll hunting mats that people make have the key dates, but they have a very incomplete list of what you should be looking for.
Yeah. Well, some people are coin collectors that collect varieties when they find like the big one. That's the only varieties they collect. What do they call them? Red book varieties or something like that.
Yeah.
So when you see those mats, it has the 55.
But the problem with that is that even if they do cherry pickers varieties, even if they do red book varieties, those update and they don't stay the same.
Yeah.
So, and they're adding to it and removing things constantly.
Like
I said, I would have to make like a carpet.
83 is double die reverse. 84 is double die obverse. Kinemain. And if I had the boxes in the closet, I would bring it out. I don't have it handy to bring it out and show you guys.
Yeah, but the thing, Yoxnav, is that even Eric and Chuck, they have to pull up their resources too. You're not expected to memorize all this stuff. What you want to have is you want to know where the resources are so that you can pull that up and look at it should you need to.
It can be very relaxing to grab, to get in a recliner, get a loop, turn your TV on or turn some music on and look at some coins. And if you see anything out of the ordinary, you just put it aside.
Yeah, but you're not expected to memorize. There's too many. I mean, you couldn't memorize 1960 D alone.
Yeah, especially since so many of them look exactly alike.
Yeah, so it's very, very difficult. And then not only that, but trying to understand. There's so many variables when you're looking at varieties that there's no way you could be expected to remember everything. But again, that's why the resources exist, right? So this is why when you're looking at coins or you're trying to search, and we talked about this a number of times, have copper coins open, have Wexler's open, Variety Vista open, right? Paula mentioned the exact same thing yesterday when Chuck was talking about the coin rolls. If you're looking for varieties, there's tools you can do to set yourself up for success for that. So you don't have to know everything, but there are things that you can do to set yourself up to where you have less issue. Hey, what's up, Jenny? Good to see you. Yeah, there's some things that you can do to set yourself up. Like you're not going to want to look at 40 different coins and mint marks because you're not going to be seeing the same design over and over again. So things won't necessarily stand out to you. Set yourself up for success. So there are things that you can do to better prepare yourself when you're searching, and that's important to do. So, all right, you guys ready to chat about this?
No.
I want to discuss it. There were a lot of great discussion points that happened when.
Yeah, that's fine.
Hey, Silverwool, what's going on, bud? Good to see you. You came at the exact perfect time. So this is one of those things again, and is what it is. I know that, but it's another position where the mint takes the ability for the common person, the common collector, to get something that is quite a unique piece. They're doing something a little bit different with the gold. And again, I know that they say over and over again that their desire, hey, what's going on, teacher? I know that their desire is to, quote unquote, bring people into the hobby. I know that if you watch the video from the U.S. Mint and you see the director, she's like, we hear you. No, you actually didn't.
No, you don't.
Because if you heard us, you'd know exactly what we wanted. We don't want 7 varieties of the Harriet Tubman coin. We want some of our circulating coinage to look like this. So again, they say what they've heard. They say these things, but their actions are speaking louder than their words.
They only hear you if you have a large bank account.
Well, and thus goes the. Now I took away. I'm going to show you guys something. I took away this, and I wasn't going to put this. I thought about making a video of this, and I thought about the potential for this to be taken wrong, so I didn't put it out there publicly. But the image you see on the thumbnail has the little auction, and the auction thing actually is a GIF, and that auction slides across. You know, the name and everything was changed. Oh, I'm trying to show you something, and I'm still on this particular piece. And after careful consideration and thinking about the many ways a thumbnail can be taken and the things you have to be careful about, I deemed that it wasn't appropriate to do that. But the question is again, what is the premise? What is the purpose for auctioning these off? I mean, you take away the generalized collector and you put it into the pockets of the people who can afford high dollar coins. Silver Wolverines is here, and we talked about the coins that he talked about. He tagged me. Thank you for tagging me on that, by the way, which is the 2020 Proof P7 V75 Privy, where they had a limit of 1,945, and they're going for $20,000 to $25,000. They're going to be so far out of the standard collector's range that there's no way in hell somebody.
But they weren't originally. They were available to the public, right?
That one was a little bit different, but when you're looking at a private auction sale, that kind of gives you a generalized idea of what these coins could be going for auction.
Possibly.
Well, the coins without the privy are still going to be available to the general collector, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. The ones without the privy will.
But here's the thing, and we've talked about this before. This is this would be a rare opportunity for somebody, and I'll give you a great example. My buddy Mike, I've asked him to come on. He's like, well, I don't know. He was the one that was going to let me open his medal, the one that had whatever. And I told him, I was fortunate, found one. Just open it, and if you find it, that's great. He wanted to get one of these because there was a potential that we knew the mint was going to do something kind of unique. We didn't know what that was, and he was like, I'm going to put my money aside for this. And so he was out there. I said, hey, the release has come out, sent him the information, and he came back and said, oh, nope, I'm not going to be doing this. I will not send my money. I'm not going to spend $3,600, $3,700, $3,800 when I know the piece that I would really like to have is so far out of reach. Just not going to do it. Hey, thanks, Sarah. 5 gifted memberships. Cassie Hall, Kellen L. Begotten, Mike Carney, and John Lucas. Nice. Thanks so much for that, Eric. I appreciate you, bud. So I know that they say, well, we have your ear. I don't agree with that at all. I don't think they're listening to us. There's obviously agenda. There's things that have to happen, but I don't think they're hearing us at all. But again, it's just another example of the...
Oh, I remember Silver Wolverine. I tried to get one.
That's when
I tried to get one.
Back in the days, you clicked the button and everything just went haywire.
Yeah, that was back in the day of bad gateway.
Error 404.
Yeah, bad gateway. Yeah. As soon as you got that, you're like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah, so again, it's just one of those things where now I wanted it before I found out that the preview was there, and I'll tell you why. I would have liked to have had a set. Now, I'm not a completist, but this is a piece, and we've talked about this. Paul has been talking about it longer than I have been. But when they dropped the 2026 semiquincentennial opportunity to go to the mint, we came up, Paul had already mentioned this before, but we came up and we talked about the opportunity, and we talked about this medal. This is something or the coin, something we absolutely wanted to see. So as soon as the Mint opened the doors for us to do it, I was online just like Paula, putting in my request, saying the items that I wanted, looking at it for normal coins, normal circulation, something that was going to be uh, things that people would really. It would be like the V75 or the W, right? Make a limited mintage of them, put something on there, make it a hunt where people could really engage, and that's how you bring people in. Even if they're looking to flip it, that's fine.
Can I just interject something real quick?
Yeah, absolutely.
So when this flowing hair metal, when they first started talking about it, and and we all start first, well, not all of us, because that's my point. When this first came out, nobody was interested. The metals do not typically do well through the US Mint. Like it people were saying, do you think it's going to be a sleeper? Sean was like back and forth in his videos. Yes, no. Nobody was talking about it. Nobody had any interest. It wasn't until they announced this privy that all of a sudden it became a hot ticket item. Had this been released, had that metal been released with the privy, with them not telling anybody about it, it probably would still be available. No, it would have been available until people started doing videos that they found one with a privy. If they had kept it secret, it wouldn't have been hot until somebody put out a video they found one with a privy. Then all of a sudden everybody would have. So the Mint knew what they were doing when they put these privy marked things out. They absolutely did. They probably had somebody out there who was telling them, look, nobody is interested in these. It's not getting publicity like stuff. Like it's just not, we're not seeing the interest in these like we should be. So I think that these privy marks were a second thought down the road. I think they said, we need to do something that's going to make these special.
Well, again, you have to realize that this was coming the same general time frame that this game was commissioning and partnering with the Mint to do something unique. And we talked about this ahead of time, so we know that. Eric, you can elaborate on this because you had the wording. I don't have it. Which specific items are utilized by the CNC machine?
Oh, yeah. Any metal or coin that is 3 inches or approximately 3 inches, everything's done with the CNC now.
What's up, Passion?
There's no more hubbing, making dies for it. They're just in like a print farm type thing.
Right. So this was one of the first metals, and they were very clear about this, that the entire process was done CNC or through laser engraving. Right. So, and they've been very open about it. They were transparent about this. So we've talked about the fact that it's going to be so easy for them just to change a design element because all they have to do is go into the computer system, choose their next image, drop it, and then run a die or two.
Cut a die.
Yeah. Right. So it's going to be, die on demand, basically. So they're going to be able to switch through and do some of this stuff. I think, again, conjecture. I can't say for fact, but you look at the general time frame and you're seeing this is where that conversation that was had regarding privy and the Chuck dude or whatever his name is. I always forget his name.
Daughtry.
No, not that one. The guy with the game and the Star Privy.
Salzburg or something. I don't know. Salisbury steak. Mark. Is it Mark?
Is it Mark Salzburg?
I think so. Something like that.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But again, in that video, he said something, and there was something that struck a chord with me, and that was when him and his son Adam or Aaron, I think it's Adam, said, you're missing the mark here. You have an opportunity to engage people by doing something with a simple change. And that privy, that's why they didn't want to do 1,000 or 1,000,000 of the star privy. That's why they talked with them about, moving that to the Flying Eagle privy. The same general time that they're doing negotiation for this is not too long, we find out about this privy mark that's being dropped on this particular metal. So I think they have the pocket of advertisers and people who are understanding marketing and doing stuff like that. So I definitely think that it's going to be something that is more frequent. But again, what happened here, and I'm not talking about everybody, and I know Paula just said there were a lot of people who weren't interested in the metal, but there's a lot of numismatists who were. There were a lot of people who wanted the old classic design. And we were a little bit frustrated when they decided to drop a metal because we're like, well, there goes the collectability of it. It's not going to hold its same pretense as a coin would.
No.
And, we talk about historically metals just totally decline. But again, it's going to be, we'll talk about that in a second, me, because that's another great point. Hey, Sorcerer Stan, what's up, brother? Good to see you. But again, when you're looking at the general time frame, you have to look at the other things that are going on and what impacted it. I absolutely think that this was part of the discussion. Hey, you guys should do something with this flowing hair. Hey, you guys are utilizing laser engraving. It'd be so easy just to put this on here. It'd be an amazing marketing grab. You could trial this just to verify that something like this was going through. Or if you want to throw the star privy out a little bit ahead of time, you can see what the general population thinks of it. There was a huge boon with some of the community in that star privy piece. Gave them kind of a thumbs up that, hey, you know what? This definitely garnered some interest. Maybe we'll go ahead and go with that plan and we'll put that privy on there.
Right. Exactly, yeah. Silver Wolverine. Exactly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And these would have been too had they not done something. So.
Yeah, and again, so I have the 2020W V75, but again, when you look at the price of them, even those coins, they've come down in price.
I would love to find a website or somewhere that we could see how many of those metals have been returned.
Yeah, that would be. But again, this is where the mint isn't showing pure transparency.
Yeah, I would love to see that. I'd love to see, like, on their census, surviving population,
Yeah.
How many of these actually survived? Because I don't think that they could resell them. I mean, there aren't going to be very many people like me who were excited about the metal in the first place, who are going to go on the website knowing that there's no chance of buying the privy and just to get the metal. I mean, maybe there are, but.
Well, I wanted one just because I liked the design.
That's exactly why, yeah. I've been excited about it since they first brought it up.
I was kind of like, man, I don't know if I want to chase the privy. And if it wouldn't have been for my wife and for somebody sending me one, I probably wouldn't have ended up getting one. But my wife that morning said, well, I'm home. Do you want me just to go ahead and do that? And I was like, you know what? I didn't even think about you doing that.
Yeah.
And so she's like, yeah, I'll just do this and go ahead. Now, my mom wanted one, but my mom got one for another reason. And she opened it up, didn't have one, and did what she did.
And even with that, they were still like, it took most of the day for them to sell out.
Took over a day.
Well, they sold, they put them on Remind Me status, and then they came back the next morning and released a few more.
They were still up when I looked at it the next morning, and you could get them. Yeah. So that's why I say they over a day.
Yeah, they put them back up. They usually do that. They'll usually cut off the sales of something that is close to being sold out, and then they'll open it back up in the morning. But they went real quick the next day. Those were probably ones that people's credit cards didn't go through, or there was a problem there.
Yeah, or like what they did with me with the Navy medal and the Marine medal and some of the other stuff, where they said that I had one and then they told me they were out of stock.
Well, that's why you were able to get one, because they have
for me to dial in that same day and order one.
Yeah. They had you on their list. They're like, watch out for this guy.
Yeah. Well, it didn't matter what I did. The only thing I could order was a mint set. Everything else, it would come back and tell me it was out of stock. There could be 100,000 of them, and it would tell me that it was out of stock.
The new ASC privies. You mean the ones for that game?
Yeah, well, again, look at the price on those. The priprices have come down on those already.
They are jacked up. Yeah, but they have come down, but they're still high. I mean,
What's up, Strider?
So, and I don't think I know that the guy that I watched the interview, and I know that he was talking, he's been in the collectibles business for a long time, and he says he knows what collectors like and stuff like that. But I really don't think he knows what coin collectors like.
Well, I think that he understands.
I don't think that ASC is. It's okay. I just don't think that ASC is going to have the result that he thinks it is, because he talks about it like it's going to bring in more youth. I don't think it's going to at all. I think that the young ones are going to like that game for a second, and then they're going to go right back to their PlayStation and be playing on their PlayStation.
Yeah, and I think there's going to be two aspects to this. Number one, he managed a collection charter company for 30 years or whatever it was. So I think he understands what collectors buy. Now, he understands the marketing behind it. He understands how to appeal to that. So he understands various sell tactics. And this is exactly what's being utilized. He's reaching out to markets that normally wouldn't be a part of that and saying, hey, there's something special, something unique, something whatever, and utilizing two strategies. Number one is the completionist. I've talked about this before. You do something, people like the game, they make in-game items. Hey, by the way, if you're one of the top people in this game, there's a colorized coin that you can get, and they're only going to be for the first top 5 people in the full game. So in order to get that, you got to be tops in this game. So be aware of that. Hey, they're colorized. They're really cool. Check out these characters. It's amazing. Oh, by the way, if you want the whole set on this, there's also a privy. Oh, by the way, in April, there's going to be another one. If you want to make sure you collect all of these, you're going to want to make sure you get them all. So it's kind of like a Pokemon thing, right? You want to catch them all. It is a slogan. It's a targeting mechanism that's utilized. It's 100% advertising. And they utilize the completionist. The other thing that they utilize is FOMO. Oh my God, there's only and Great Scott. We talked about this before, and he was like,
50,000 is not a low number.
Well, it's not 50,000. It's 500,000.
It's 500,000, right? 500,000.
It's a manipulation of the number to make people think that the run is smaller than it is. It's a marketing
it's only
scheme.
50,000 slabs.
It's a marketing scheme used to target people in that FOMO or that completionist attitude and go, oh my God. No, I got to get it because they're really low mintage. Look, it's only one of 550 or one of 50,000. No, go look at the mintage numbers, and it's 500,000.
But even then, they're touting it. I just saw it yesterday as the lowest minted bullion coin. Okay, who cares? Most people who buy those bullion are buying them for bullion. If you put an ASC and a maple leaf in front of them, which they're going to buy whichever one's cheapest.
Is that really the case though?
Yes, most of them are stackers. When they sell these
500,000 being the lowest bullion mintage.
Oh, I don't know. I don't keep.
I do not believe that.
How many bullion
moment?
Yeah, who keeps track of how many bullion were minted? Probably no one except us talking about it this morning. But I mean, they do this marketing thing, one of 50,000. Well, it's one of 50,000 of that slab. There were 20 other slabs.
Exactly.
Different with
it was
with
a label.
Flag.
It was a label.
And
people were utilizing that fear.
And this person signed it, and that person signed it.
Yep, that's all it is. It is a grab. It's marketing. Again, they reached out to Sony. They talked with Sony, and they were like, let's do checks to see which music we can play during the sale to identify which one has the sustainment, like draws people in, not only for the advertisement, but for the game itself. So they worked with them, and they said Sony was the one that said you need to be careful doing single runs and make sure you split them out. Sony was the one who recognized, I think I might say that wrong. I believe it's Sony, was the one that was against the run of 1 million. They were like, no, you want to split this because the smaller the number, the more people are going to think they're a specialty item. And again, it's all that FOMO tactic. It's all the utilization of fancy marketing. They're not interested in the numismatic collector. They're not interested in the stacker who's the collector. They're looking at utilizing this in a special niche to just get more people to come in and try out the game.
Yeah, they're looking for dead presidents. Marketing.
Say again?
They're looking for dead presidents.
Right.
Money.
Well, yeah, not only that, but they're looking for people in. So again, if I put out an advertisement,
was it available on Xbox? I thought it was only a mobile app. I don't think it's available on.
I think it's only iOS and Android. I don't think it's.
Yeah.
It's not part of the PlayStation. It's not part of anything like that.
Mobile apps. Yeah.
Yeah. Now,
everybody knows.
I'll ask you guys a question real quick. Let me do this first real quick.
I know nothing about this stuff.
If I give you a pamphlet,
I know very little about it.
Okay, if I give you a pamphlet and it says 500,000, or let's even go smaller. Let's just do small numbers. 5,000 of these available, and I hand out pamphlets. How many people are going to take that pamphlet, not even look at it, and throw it in the trash? But if I find somebody that's a coin shop owner, or find somebody in the hobby, and I said, hey, there's only 5,000 of these, go tell your friends, and they go tell your friends, what is the likelihood that their friends will go listen to their word and go buy something and go pick that up? Word of mouth carries way more weight than any kind of other standard advertiser. So if you can reach out into a community and you can get people talking about it and people promoting it within that community, you've done what you wanted to do. And that is to get word of mouth, get those people to be the voice of reason and the experts talking about how it's a good deal, because now you have people that you trust within your own community saying it. It's not the people that are advertising for you. So it is an absolute sell tactic that is utilized to manipulate. All it is a manipulation tool.
Well, and I have to question content creators that will promote something like that, unless now I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they truly believe it themselves, right? Maybe they truly believe that this is a special thing, and it's, maybe they're more stackers as opposed to like, numismatists but I think for the most part, many of these content creators are promoting this to their viewers, and I have to question their intent. Like, why would you promote something that is not a good deal, that probably will be just a bullion coin in maybe not even 2 years, a year? Well, the value is dropping. Why would you subject your viewers to that? Does that make sense? You know what I mean? Like, I think as content creators, there comes a point when we owe our viewers better than that. If we're gonna promote something to them, I think that we have to be completely transparent and honest.
Thanks, ATS. I was like, I know the name, but I can't remember it off the top of my head. 8th Era. Yeah, thanks, ATS. Appreciate you, brother.
And I'm huge. You guys know that. Like, I catch flack all the time.
You're tiny.
But not anymore. But I do. I catch flack all the time for telling people, say, who are you to tell people how to spend their money? That's not what I'm doing. What I'm doing is trying to educate on, I don't even know how to word it. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't want people believing all this hype and stuff when you can go back and see historically how, with your own eyes, how things do. And I don't know, I guess use your own judgment, but I hate seeing something like this super hyped up. And yeah, I do. I see it all. Like, I'm gonna go complete. Can I go off script just for a second? Even though
there's a script,
like you're actually asked this time.
I know I am, but So there was a certain content creator who I had a huge problem with a video that he put out the other day. And it actually kind of floored me and took me aback. He put out a video saying that it's basically saying that it's okay to sell junk coins as long as you properly describe them as junk coins for educational purposes. I was floored by that.
I'm not sure how I feel about that, but as long as he's being upfront and saying, hey, these are junk coins and not trying to make it would depend on what he was charging for them, because
I absolutely, totally 100% disagree. Why would that opens it up to all the parking lot coin salesmen?
I'm not talking about that. When he comes out and says these are junk coins for educational purposes.
But that's bad for our hobby.
Justifying those whatnot sellers and everything on there.
From a retail standpoint, he's not being dishonest.
He's an educator.
But
he's an educator. He touts himself as an educator. He promotes himself as the best educator out there on YouTube.
I wouldn't do it just because of that.
He tells
people, if he was just selling coins and he did that, to me, he would be doing everything.
He told people that it's okay to list their plating blisters and their split plating coins on eBay.
Plating blisters now on that
for sale.
There are people that collect serious plating blisters.
Eric,
there are plating blisters.
You can find them for face value. You can find them for
not the plating blisters I'm talking about.
Oh yes, you can.
There are plating blisters out there that are so significant that they can't survive circulation. They almost have to come out of an uncirculated source.
Right, and you can buy those rolls for pennies.
Right, but I'm just saying
88s and 90s.
When you say that blisters, there are significant plating blisters that people actually will pay a premium for.
I know they will. I understand that. I understand that they will. This was not the video. What I'm talking about is this person put out a video basically telling people, I don't know what person you're talking about.
I do.
Anyway.
You should send me the name so I can actually look at it.
It's important to me that people especially if they promote themselves as educators, that they take some responsibility for all those people that are watching them, and they protect them.
Does this I agree with that 100%, Paula.
Especially when you have hundreds of thousands of subscribers.
Paula, does this start with a D?
No. Well, yes, his first name does, yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I know exactly who you were talking about.
Yeah, and it actually surprised me because most of his stuff is educational.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
And I agree with most of his stuff, but I was floored by this video because he gave the way it was done. He gave people carte blanche to put
That's
their
the guy that said that you shouldn't try to sell Lincoln cents to a coin dealer.
Yes.
All right. I know exactly who you're talking about now. Yeah.
He's put out a few videos. The last few, there's been.
And then all of a sudden, you can find this. Really? Who's going to find an MS-70 business strike in their pocket? Those videos are very, very far reaching. The videos you're talking about, the pennies and the nickels.
Well, you can tell when people start to run out of ideas. And again, I'm with Paula on this one. I think that is.
I'm with Paula on it too.
And plating blisters.
Don't separate yourself from me, mister.
The more extreme plating blisters are, the more a ticking time bomb that coin is. So you also have to let people. You have to let them know. If you want to buy this, it is not going to last. This coin is not going to last. It's a ticking time bomb.
Hey, Bullion Renegade, have a great day. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate you.
Just like Eric said,
you can say that
those extreme plating blisters will not survive circulation. If you have to touch them very gently and treat them very gently, or they are just ticking time bombs.
Well, then what you're saying stands for retained struck-throughs also.
No.
Sure. I've got a retained struck through that if it was in circulation because it's still got the thread in the struck through. It was struck through with fiber.
Yeah, thank you for subscribing. Appreciate you.
Completely different things. We're talking about two completely different things.
No, you are, but that's what I say. The collectability of a plating blister has to be very significant, and you do have to take special measures to protect it. Because
most retained struck throughs will not just fall out.
Well,
most retained.
I'm not saying fall out. I'm saying wear out. Like I've got some 71Ps that are struck through fibers. You can see
like if you maintain them in circulation.
If you couldn't find this coin in circulation, there's no way.
Eric, if that struck through fell out, it would still be a struck through. It may not have the retained strike through anymore in it, but it would still be a struck through, and that coin is not going to just self-destruct.
But almost
those plating blisters are going
to the coins in rolls have struck throughs on them.
What?
I go through rolls every day. Almost every roll has coins with struck throughs in it.
Yeah, it's little structure grease and stuff like that. I understand.
The thing that I say makes it significant is when, like, say it's struck through a wire and the wire is still in the struck through.
No, those are cool.
Right.
Or a fiber. I've got some examples
of most of those are not
where you see the thread in there. If that was in somebody's pocket for less than 5 minutes, that fiber would be gone.
Shouldn't. If it's a true struck through fiber, it should not just fall out.
Oh, absolutely. We can differ opinions on that. Because the fibers are already almost destroyed from the kinetic energy that's involved in the striking process.
Okay.
So they're very soft. That's what I'm saying. They're fibers. You look at them and you're like, whoa, it's a thread.
Yeah, I saw that Silver Wolverine. Again, when you're looking at...
no. I'm not... Silver Wolverine, I am not talking about you.
Yeah, we know. No.
Not at all. I've watched your videos.
I can message you later and explain. But
I'm not talking to you.
Yeah. So there's a difference. So what we're talking about here is, and Paul and I had this discussion with a good friend of ours about machine doubling and selling machine doubling as something that's collectible. The people will never, ever realize that money ever again. And there are people who collect it, and that's fine. But if you are going to be selling stuff, integrity should hold high enough that you let people know, look, you may want to do this or support the channel or however that is, but you need to understand that if you go to sell this, you will never realize the money that you're going to purchase for this. And they need to make that price accordingly. They don't need to have two people who have no idea what's going on getting to a bidding war and bid $65 on a 1972 machine doubled Kennedy.
But yeah, most of them are actually saying they're double dies, though.
Well, but we've had people we know channels who have actually called it at what it is. But said that it's purely collectible. And again, there are people who collect that. I'm not knocking that, but there is a practice there that it hurts our hobby because it opens the door for other people to say, look at this person who's well respected in the community, and they think that it's okay. And they're going to tout that. They're going to tout this. And when I'm referring back to the person that Paul is talking about, I'm going to.
Oh, I know the person you guys are talking about now.
Yeah. So, well, okay. I thought I said that I wasn't sure, but I want to go back to that person because that person is touted as a knowledgeable person in our community. And if you say that, and you say, okay, it's okay to do that, then you're promoting something that is potentially jeopardizing our hobby.
And you can probably find a video on his channel that says completely the opposite thing.
I was just going to say that, Paula, because
I would absolutely
that's what he was saying. He was saying, don't bother selling these to the coin dealers because they don't want them. And then 2 weeks later, he does a video on, you can find a $15,000 coin in your pocket.
Yeah, exactly. Well, speaking of these flowing hair metals, he had not so nice things to say about them too, until he saw what they were selling for on the secondary market and the privies.
Silver Wolverine, hold on real quick, just a sec. Silver Wolverine, ! Find me. will bring up the link to you, and I've given you a wrench for a reason. Just don't go on blast and load and load and load and load videos. But if we're talking about something and we're talking about that, we address it. Absolutely, please feel free to do so. I am not solely about making my content the only content that can be featured. So yeah, please go ahead and post that video. I don't mind, but do exclamation point find me so people can find you.
I'm just going to say this with, it kind of goes for everything in life, really. Follow the money. If somebody is touting something and promoting something, they usually have a monetary reason for doing it. Like they're getting something out of it.
Sure. Absolutely.
And I'm not saying all the time. I'm just saying a lot of times.
No, you pretty much all the time.
Yeah.
But I mean, I hate to say it, but in this day and age, pretty much everything revolves around money.
Yeah, and I do understand that if you're a coin shop or that your business is to sell, whether it be online or whatnot, I do understand that you're going to get a bunch of stuff that you're going to have a hard time getting rid of, and that's going to take a marketable loss. So I understand why people do it. I don't think it justifies the end, though. Again, when you look at throughout history, well-intentioned people do things because they're given a lab coat, and just because they're told that it's okay, and they know it's wrong, fundamentally know it's wrong, but because they have somebody saying it's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay, just like in the lab coat experiment where they gave the people the shock value, and they hear the people screaming on the other side, and then you have the lab coat guy saying, I understand it's going to be fine, just do that. Even after that person stops screaming, they keep turning it up, turning it up, turning it up, turning it up. Even when on that dial it said death, do not pass this, there were a number of people who continued to do it, not because they had morbid personalities, but because they had professionals that were sitting there and whose opinion they trusted, saying it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. So we've got to be very careful. There's a very fickle line here, and we've got to do what we can to protect the hobby. So I want to urge caution. Just like with talking politics, you've got to be very careful not to tell people, and we talked about this last night on Tiger Stacker's stream, oh, the government's the problem. Well, I understand. That's a very general, broad statement. There's a lot of good people who work for the government that are just trying to do a good job. They know the situation they're in, but they're still trying to do a good job. So what is it about that specifically? Let's talk about something very specific in government. That would be fiscal spending. That's something that's a very known issue. Address that personally. Don't make blanket statements. This person touting that, well, you can do it whatever you want and sell them and post everything that you want. It's a very blanket statement that hurts the hobby, and it does open people who are nefarious looking to utilize somebody who's an expert to lead people into making decisions that will cost them money in the long run. We have a great example of that in the community. They're no longer in the community for embezzlement and fraud. I'm not going to mention the name, but they had to change the channel's name because of it.
Oh, man, I missed all the good stuff.
I'm talking about.
Well, the problem I have with that video that was put out is that then I have to come back and tell, when somebody asks me how much is this coin with split plating, or how much is these plating blisters worth, I have to come back and tell them nothing, face value. And then it's a battle for me.
Destroy your dreams.
It's an uphill climb.
Yeah.
I'm telling them I'm being practical about it, but they heard it from this person who's got all these subscribers and blah, blah, blah. And I guarantee you bring one of those coins into his shop, he ain't going to buy it from you.
No, not a chance in hell.
So
not a chance
no matter
in hell.
how you describe it.
Nope.
Even if you go in there and describe it exactly as it is.
But this is where people talk out both sides of their mouth. Crispy Bacon, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate you.
It was just appreciate you. It was just for content, and that's sad to see, but yeah, and did you guys see Silver Seeker's video yesterday about the unopened proof sets? Oh, it was like heaven, the heavens opened up and the sun shined down and everything was right with the world.
I didn't get the chance to see that.
But I did see Coin Crew's video that
they got a box. Yes, they got a box of but in the very beginning, the first thing Silver Seeker does is shows a proof set, like a 1962 or whatever, and he pulls it out and he goes, "Now these were not sealed by the mint. The mint did not." I did a huge study years ago on this.
That is true.
To disprove, to prove that these individual envelopes were not sealed by the mint. So if you buy one that says sealed by the mint and they charge you extra because they say it's sealed by the mint, they're lying to you.
That's right.
I fell victim to that with a 1970 when I first got in. You were the one that told me they never sealed them. I opened up
a box of 63p proofs or 63 proof sets and a box of 63 mint sets, and none of the envelopes were sealed. They were all open.
Now some become sealed through moisture and stuff like that. Like if you ever have bought a box of envelopes and you've let it sit in like your garage for a long time, you bring it in, many of the envelopes will become sealed over time.
They're not totally sealed.
Did I already put stuff in these?
Right.
But I can tell you, by opening those boxes myself, I've had the pleasure of opening those 50 count boxes before. And they're not
I talked to dozens upon dozens of old collectors and coin shops when I did this study. I call it a study. I never wrote anything up on it, but it was for my own benefit.
It's a study.
And none of them had ever purchased any from the mint that came sealed. Now, some of them purchased individual ones that actually were shipped out in secondary envelopes that had their address and stuff on them, and those were sealed. They had to seal them to ship them out. But when you can actually also buy envelopes, replacement envelopes for these.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yes. Go on eBay and look and just put in 1961 U.S. mint set or U.S. proof set envelopes.
Or did somebody just save the envelopes from a box? Because I know like the one coin.
No, they're replacement envelopes. Were they
me to pull all the varieties out of a bunch of proof sets for him? And he took the envelopes and just stuck the envelopes in another box and said that if he got a proof set without an envelope, he would just put it in the envelope then. Because he had cut all the other ones, he cut all.
Don't fall for that. My point is, don't fall for that. Don't fall for the unopened proof set hype, and pay extra money for it. Do not do that. And I have also seen through that study I did, there were people who bought these unopened sets, and when they got them, they had washers. There were not a single coin in them. They were washers.
Oh,
so. I'm just, this is.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
I'm not a big eBay person.
It has arrived.
Yeah. You will have people arguing with you about this. You will have people arguing with you, but.
Going to see a coin. You go to a coin shop. Do you have a 64 proof set? Most coin shops will bring 100 of them out in a box and stuck it in front of you and say, have at it.
New video alert.
And you can look at them. You can pick the one you want. They don't have the time to go through these proof sets to pick what they want out.
So those had S mint nickels in them, AZ. And I think that's some of the 70s have S mint cents also.
Yes.
Yeah.
70 or 68 through 74 have S mint cents. And I think 69 is there 70S nickels.
Yeah, nickels. I can't remember the exact dates, but there are some mint sets that have
business strike nickels in it.
Yeah, business strike S mint. They're not proofs; they're business strike.
Silver Wolverine. I didn't see the other link. I don't know where.
I think it's because Philly didn't make any that year. I think, or is it because Philly didn't make any? I can't remember. Anyway,
it's like the
no, they're not. They're not.
It's like it's a business strike, but it's not in circulation.
Yeah, they're not special. They're not SMS sets.
Oh, the Stacks and Bowers one. Yes, I did see that one. Yes.
What is it?
Sorry, my chat's not working, and I've tried something different. I can see both the chats in one window, but I can't use it. Doesn't really help me.
Anyway, I just want everybody be prepared. If you argue that point about the proof sets not coming sealed from the mint, if you argue that point, you will find people who will argue with you. Go vote. Silver Seeker's video and Coin Crew's video. Go vote for him opening those sets. I really want him to open that box. He has a sealed box of 50.
The key to that would be, what did he pay? Did he pay a premium for the box?
I don't know. Probably. You usually do.
There's a lot of neat stuff in 62.
Yeah, I know.
To find.
I know.
So would it be worth it for him to do it? That box is probably worth more unopened than it is.
It depends on what he finds in there.
That's true.
The potential is great.
But there's potential in both ends. For potential. He's in the business for to make money.
The other thing about that, and I want to remind people that when you're looking at old mint sets, remember that there are certain years, and you guys will have to tell me, because again, I can't remember the years, like 40s or something like that, that didn't come in capital holders.
Oh, no mint set came in a capital holder.
So
54
if you see
before
original mint set in a capital holder, no. And you'll see there's some that actually came in like small little boxes, individually wrapped.
54 and 55.
Yeah.
No, 55, half the year was in boxes. Half the year.
Half the year was a flat packs. Half the year was a boxes.
Yeah, and then 54 and before are all in little boxes.
And be careful of even those. If you buy them and they are not still sealed, and there's a way to tell if they are still sealed from the mint or if they were done afterwards. But be careful with those, because many people repackaged the coins in them. The plastic that the coins were in got real brittle over time. So many people took them and repackaged the individual coins.
Yeah. The S-Mint nickels we were talking about at 68, 69, 70, and 71.
Okay. Yeah.
The business straight nickels.
Have a good one, Silver Wolverine. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate you.
Bye, Silver Wolverine. Thank you.
And then 71p were the ones like you were talking. They made them, but they were very low mintage.
Yeah, with the S-Mint cents.
And make sure you guys go over and check out Silver Wolverine's channel. We put that link in there before you leave. Silver Wolverine, if you'll do the exclamation point, find me. I appreciate it. Appreciate you sharing information. Again, the various items on the mint, where you can locate stuff. That's been very helpful. So please make sure you go over.
Yeah, I want someone, if somebody gets, when that information about the auction comes out, I'm sure I won't be the first one to see it, because I'm not following it anymore.
I won't see it. I mean, that's, I don't pay attention.
I would like to know, though. I would like to know where it's being auctioned and all that. I mean, I'm kind of invested in it now. So I'm if you guys don't know anything about me, you know that. Like I need to know the full story on something.
I'm fully expecting that on November 14th, when they release these, that
December, right? Oh, December 12th is when the auction.
That's when the auction's happening. But I'll almost guarantee that on again, this is conjecture, but looking at what the mint has done as far as notifying people, on November 14th, when they drop this, whether it be Stacks and Bowers, whether it be Great Collections, whether it be what's the other one you said earlier today?
Barnes and Noble. No, I'm just kidding.
There's Heritage. There's Stacks and Bowers. There's another one. Goldman Sachs.
Goldman Sachs.
There's another one besides them. Berkshire.
But again, it doesn't matter which one. What you're going to probably see is that you'll find the release date for the December 12th auction appear on their site. And they probably won't release it on that site until then. I've been looking, and I'll show you just a second. Let me pull this up, and I'll share my screen. I've got to pull up this. Stacks and Bowers. So when you pull up their site, let me share this real quick.
Well, keep an eye out for Mid-America Coins too, because he got a bulk purchase for those gold coins. So we'll see how he does.
So when you look at Stacks and Bowers, you'll see that they list their upcoming auction, and there's a jump here from November to January. They don't list anything else. There's a likelihood that if they have an auction planned in December, or a series of auctions planned, which usually they'll do 1, 2, or 3, they won't list this if they've been told by the mint to hold. So I'm going to be watching the gap here to see if December appears.
Well, when does that auction start and end in November? It may run through December.
The auction for the flowing hair starts December 12th.
No, I'm saying that Stacks and Bauer, the November showcase auction, it may run through December.
Yeah, so when you come down, let's go to the very end.
That's bidding begins. What does it say when it ends? It says October 16th through November 26th.
Yeah, November 26th is the live.
So look at the January auction then and see when that stops and starts. Let's see. No, go up. October through January. So that goes October through January.
Yeah. So if you look at, these are all circulation issues. So there's no, I don't think that they'd be having, they wouldn't post the flowing hair in here. So
no, that's a special one. That's a Richard Margolis.
Yeah. So again, if you're looking at, if they're going to put something in here, I've been watching this one. The other one that they've used a lot is Great Collections, which is
they won't use Great Collections.
Yeah, and if they used Great Collections, it won't be up till 3 weeks before.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, so you wouldn't see that until after the release of the other one, and it's really hard to see what their items are. But with B&A and A, I don't think that they would utilize this one, but I've been checking this one as well. So this is the one, Stacks and Bowers, that I've been watching. I want to see if they add an additional.
Watch Goldman Sachs.
Say again?
Watch Goldman Sachs.
Sotheby's does coin auctions too.
Sotheby's does too. I think Harlan J. Burke does them too.
They do, and I think that actually their Berkshire Hathaway has a coin auction this year too.
I'm not seeing their auctions.
No, just put in Goldman Sachs coin auctions. There you go.
Not seeing Goldman Sachs.
Well, you have to look further then.
Well, they might not have one scheduled right now.
There it is.
That's Coinmetrics. That has nothing to do with auctions.
Yeah, you can still go to their site though. What we do.
That's not, yeah, they don't.
Okay. I'll find it.
I don't see anything on Goldman Sachs for auctions. And if you're commenting in chat, I'm not looking at chat right now, by the way. What was the other one that you said?
Here's Sotheby's. Yeah, there's Sotheby's too. Coins and medals, featured content. Let's see, feature.
Oh, these are Sotheby's properties. I need to get to.
Yeah.
The general one.
Coin auction. Just auctions. There we go. Upcoming auctions.
So we're looking December.
Upcoming auction. November.
5 December, 10 December, 11 December, 15, 16 December. I'm not seeing anything coin specific. It might be.
Yeah, we can sit and guess and everything. I mean, we'll find out eventually.
Yeah, so I'm going to continue to search and monitor that. I know Silver Wolverine's going to be doing the same. But if you guys happen to see something, please make sure you reach out to us and let us know. But I'll be watching it. I've been checking it about every day, so.
So that's that.
Yeah.
Fun stuff. What else do you guys have going on? What are you guys doing for Veterans Day? You guys going to go get your free lunch?
No, I'm kind of bummed. My grandkids had a thing at their school on Friday, and I was not told about it. Kind of bummed.
But I'm convalescing a sick dog.
I always look forward to that at their school, the little Veterans Day thing that they do at the school.
Well, Friday I had to do a last-minute call with one of our overseas clients. And I was supposed to be at my daughter's school for the honoring of the veterans. And my ex called me and said, "Hey, it's 6 o'clock. You're not here. You're supposed to be on the football field." And I was like, oops. So
Chuck's going to pig out me too. I'm going to go get all my free food. I'm going to go to Applebee's and Dairy Queen.
Up,
Chuck? What's up, Chuck?
How you doing, sir?
Chuck?
Yeah,
Chuck,
nothing
I need
listed
you
on
to
Heritage.
message.
We'll keep an eye out, and as soon as we find
please.
something, if you do, please do me a favor. Comment in this video in the chat. Let us know, hey, auction, whatever, and we can go back and we can revisit that. Or post something on the community page.
Charles Daughtry, please send me your address in Messenger so I can send this out to you to sign, please. Thank you.
Please and thank you.
You pull that up and show people.
No, I have to show my camera. I can't.
Are you inappropriate?
I'm still wearing my Copper Coins t-shirt.
Nice.
So just in case you guys forgot about that, that's what she was wearing yesterday when we streamed live. Paula has not got out much.
I haven't changed clothes. Chuck likes to tease me. He goes, okay, now hang on. She's got to put her hat on. She's got to fix her hair. Yeah, he got me all paranoid. I thought he's like spying on me through my camera. Because that's exactly what I was doing.
Yeah, I don't think, I don't think it's going to be Heritage. I think looking at some of the auction sites and some of the stuff that they've done, I think it's going to be, personally, I think it'd be Stacks and Bowers.
Stacks.
But I don't know. That's just me.
It's true.
And that's just to go to the mailbox. True. So do you guys have any cool plans for, I know that Copper Coin said he's going to be doing, eating and hanging out and doing stuff. Do you guys have anything, any kind of memorial events? You guys are going to be attending Wounded Warriors. You guys going to go visit anybody or go to any homage? I don't have it up right now because I don't have it on this particular structure. But you guys seen when I was doing my other stream, I had my POWMIA.
Yes.
So
I probably will be going to the cemetery.
I'll be doing some of that. Walking around. I'll be taking, and I've done this a couple years. So I have a couple friends that died in the recent conflict, Afghanistan, Iraq. So I go take a bottle of whiskey and set a drink. My wife will drive me up there and I'll have a drink and then I'll pour one on the grave and have one with them, or take an empty shot glass, get a shot glasses and stick it on there and leave it just to let people know, hey, there's other veterans who remember.
They do it.
So
the 173rd Fighter Wing from Kingsley Field my home unit does a flyover.
That's
every
awesome.
year. So I will be watching that, the 15 flyovers.
Well, you spent time at Lackland, right?
I did. Everybody in the Air Force spent time at Lackland.
Well, that's true. They have flyovers, so they'll have
Shepherd Air Force Base, Fairchild. Mm-hmm.
They do fly. So we have a small airport just a couple miles from where I live. It's about 5.5 miles. Actually, I can tell you it's exactly 5.5 miles because we ride our bike there when we're doing a short 10-mile ride. But they have an airfield there, and during Veterans Day, Memorial Day, things like that, they have they have a couple small planes that take off, and they meet the C-130s, the C-5s. They meet the fighter jets. Last year they had a B-2 Spirit that was here, and they had like some old P-5 Mustangs and other World War II prop planes. So they brought World War I, World War II prop planes, really old, antiquated military fighters, jets, and things of that nature. And some of them take off over here at the small airport. And so we're in the warm-up loop until the big loop from the large Air Force off of Lackland kicks off, or Randolph Field, the training wing there, the reserve unit that flies out of Randolph. And they all meet up in the area over my home. So we'll have jets flying and old planes flying over top of us. I'll try to get some footage of that.
That's fantastic. I love that.
But
Sound
they do
of
that
freedom,
every year,
baby.
so.
Sound of freedom, baby.
Oh man, we have. I'm hoping that they do it because
I flew through Ramstein. I flew through Ramstein several times, bringing patients and going back, bringing in patients and going back.
Yeah,
I never spent any time there though. I did go through the airport, the little tiny teeny airport and reception center or whatever.
Go
tiny.
Navy, beat Army, booyah! I will say one thing, and I want to say this on Veterans Day. We talk about men and women who served and stuff like that, but I want to say something special. If you're a caretaker of a vet, my hat's off to you. Okay, honestly, and I don't say this lightly.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of people who've suffered a lot of grave injuries in defense of our nation. And it takes a lot to care for somebody who not only may be physically disabled, but suffers from PTSD. Divorce rates are high. Alcoholism and drug use and things like that are really high. And so if you were a caretaker of a vet, again, I'm going to take my hat off and let you know that you have a very honorable role in Veterans Day in my book. So I want to thank you. A lot of time the caretakers are forgot about in Veterans Day, and I want to make sure that you guys know that I don't forget about you. It is a very hard job, and I want you guys to know that I love and appreciate you. So if you are a caretaker for somebody, or you're one of the first responders who have served and take care of vets, I want to thank you for that. So thank you very much.
Yep.
So I'm going to put my hat back on because I have bedhead. All right. Well, folks, it's only 10 o'clock. Do you guys have anything else you got to talk about? You guys have questions or comments in chat? If you don't, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up early, allow you guys to enjoy your weekend. I know that we have Wounded Warrior Day 2. They had a decent day. I know there's some really good goodies going up on the auction block today. So if you're supporting them, make sure you do so. And don't forget that here in just a few short months, we also have another amazing benefit kicking off, which is food. So again, go pay homage, pay your respects, go say hi. Let people know Frosty sent you over if you're going to go check them out. I think they are going in about 2 hours, hour and a half, somewhere in that time frame.
Can I promote a little something?
Sure, absolutely.
I'm interviewing Jack Young tomorrow So that'll be recorded. Yeah, that'll be recorded. He's doing a presentation. So I think it was on Counterfeit Large Sense. I can't remember.
So, ladies and gentlemen, just in case you're not aware, that's going to be at a 4.5-hour video.
Maybe. And maybe. Yeah, we have fun together. So I'll edit it. But
well, you just have fun with everybody, don't you?
I do. Awesome. I do. Listen, you get me talking about coins and stuff, and it's over. You might as well pack a lunch. Yeah.
Well, those of you who are watching that don't know the name Jack Young,
you need to.
Yeah, you need to do some research and find out who this gentleman is. If you're looking counterfeit coins, especially in certain varieties, large cents, dollars, things of that nature.
I did, me. It was privy. They can't do that because privy marks are raised. They're raised up off the coin. So, yeah, they can't just etch it or engrave it into the coin itself. Sorry.
Yeah, it's got to be put into the. It's got to be put into the working die.
The die.
And that's another thing that if you guys want to talk a little bit longer, we can do that. What utilizing the CNC machine or that laser engraver is going to do to the actual minting process?
Well, I mean, it depends. Are they if they're using it directly to make working dies, then doubled dies are a thing of the past.
Yeah, because there's no more hubbing situation.
Completely.
Yep.
And that's only on coins is 3 inches or larger. So the
for now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, for now. Mm-hmm.
And my filter.
And it did say special release and some other things too, but
yeah, metals.
Like vintage, like the gold coins. I'm sure they're all going to be made the same way that the big metals were.
Well, that's interesting because they do have a color die. So, did they? I wonder if how they made the color die.
I don't know. It's actually on the U.S. Mint's website. If you go there and look at the procedure, they've updated it to actually include that now.
Yeah, Hugh, that's why I said PTSD. PTSD is a silent killer amongst vets. So, yeah, it's a bad
Not
thing.
just vets. PTSD affects.
Well, it affects everybody.
Yeah.
But we're talking Veterans Day, so.
Yeah.
But I almost always include my first responders whenever I mention vets because.
And I can tell you from personal experience a little something about PTSD. I don't know if it affects survivors of other things differently, but I cannot accept any treatment for mine because
disaster.
They want me to talk about it, and I don't want to talk about it.
Yep. Disaster in general creates PTSD.
Yeah. So not everybody. So if you are talking to someone with PTSD, the best thing to say to them is not always, they have help for that, or have you talked to the VA or.
And if you do say something like that, say it one time and don't say it again.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one thing you're morally responsible to.
I know,
Chuck. People help.
That's so awesome.
You don't have to bug somebody to get help. You say it and then you're done with it.
Yep. I know. I'm so happy.
Chuck, that's a travesty that it took so long to get.
It is.
Yep. There's a lot of vets out there that are suffering the same situations, and there are laws in place to help them. But again, if they don't have the information, again, you don't know what you don't know. So how do you ask for certain items? Yeah. So I'm glad that you were able to get that and get everything taken care of. If there's
a lot of things that need to be changed. A lot.
Yeah. If you're a vet out there and you have a disability and you don't have one and you need to learn a little bit about it, reach out to me in one of the chats. Send me an email. That may be a really good off-topic item in which I can pull people up and we can get a DAV counselor to actually talk about those things. If these are things that you guys want to talk about, we will do off-topic conversations Well, we do that anyway.
Me.
But I will bring whomever you want. This is my channel, but it's whatever you guys do to benefit and help you all. So if there are people out there that need help with that, need to understand, reach out to me and let me know. Yeah. Well, so they do
absolutely
exit items,
Chuck.
but they only give you minimal information, and a lot of times the people who are doing the trainings don't have a clue what it actually is. They're given a script.
That
they're
needs
told
to be part.
XYZ.
That needs to be part of your basic training. They need, if they're going to teach DEI in the military right now, they need to incorporate a class on when you transition from military life to civilian life, or on applying for disability benefits or something like that. They absolutely need to have some type of course for people to take. Because
and make it easy to find.
Nobody knows. People get out, they let these kids out, and they're lost because much of their training that they receive in the military doesn't translate over to civilians. Some of it does, but much of it doesn't. I often thought, like, so I was in the medical field, and very little. The only thing that I could use in civilian life was my EMT. But I could do things that nurses couldn't even do, that RNs couldn't even do. That type of training didn't translate over to civilian life. So there's a lot that could be made better.
Oh yeah, absolutely agree.
Had an official program that was much more about writing a good, yeah.
So I am going to share something with the people in chat. This is a resource, and I'm going to have to open up a chat window. Hold on just a second, because I just was a ding ding and just closed my own chat window. Hold on just a second, because all right, so I'm putting something in here.
Yeah, don't always have to talk about it, can
I? It is not easy to read, and this is one of the major issues that we have with this. This is what they call the swarm. This is the Title 38 Code of Federal Regulations, the CFR. You look at Book C or item. Under Book C, there is a list of scheduled disability ratings. Let me actually pull this up. I don't know why I'm not showing this. There is an actual list. Let me go back one. So this is, whoops, wrong one. Let's make this one bigger. This is the web automated or the WARMS system. They used to call it SWARM, but now it's the WARMS. This is the Title 38 Code of Federal Regulations. This is how they utilize to identify your disability rating and the things that are happening. Under that is Book C. So when you go under here, you'll see all the different items. You'll see the Code of Federal Regulations, the relief. You'll see the different provisions. You'll see all the different parts.
Nobody wants to read that shit.
Well, but that's the problem, right? So it's all embedded in here. But if you want to look at specific ratings and specific things like comp pension and different items, there's a lot of good resources in here. If you want to look at specific items regarding your subchapters, you want to find out what it is to get the specific treatments that you need in order to get that information put in here, you want to click on this one right here, compensation and pension.
It's a process.
Compensation and pension, yes, but it's very important that when you go see your provider that you understand some of this. You can share some of this information with your provider and say that there's specific language that needs to be put in my medical record. And if you meet the criteria, make sure they put the verbiage in your medical record, because these are the things that they're going to be looking at. And so make sure that you're going through and looking at this. How do you do your claims for certain specific things? Now, this is herbicide based exposure in Vietnam and
they need to pay people to do that for you.
But again, this is one of the big ones that I do. This is where I highly, highly, highly recommend that you join the Disabled American Veterans, and they have attorneys that their sole job is to assist with this. And you can pay an annual fee if you want to. You can donate. I am a lifetime member. I paid the lifetime membership due. I don't have to pay every year. I donate on occasion to them. If I see them at a benefit, I throw them money. Should be free. But you can do it absolutely free. I do it because I wholeheartedly support and believe in the entity. But you have great resources, but a lot of people just don't know that they're available to you. But they have, yeah, like exactly, Chuck. American Legion, Veteran of Foreign Wars. I would take the Veterans of Foreign Wars way over the American Legion. Because they understand people that are sent abroad. They understand people a little bit better in that regard. So I've had better experiences dealing with the VFW than I would with the American Legion. Me seconds that. Again, looking at some of the other things, but again, looking at knowing where your resources are. If anybody really wants to know about this, I have got a pocket full of people that I work with that would be more than happy to walk through this. Doesn't matter what service. You want to talk to somebody in your service agency, reach out to me, let me know. If you're Navy, you want to talk to somebody who absolutely knows Navy, or you want to talk to a DV rep that was a prior Navy vet, let me know and I'll get you in touch with somebody. This is something I wholeheartedly believe in, and I will do whatever I can to help you. But again, it's one of those things, time and patience. A lot of people don't know what to look for. They do not know the questions to ask. They do not know how to phrase things. They do not know what's supposed to be in the medical record. They do not know what's supposed to be there. I don't need to share that anymore because I stopped sharing that item. There we go. You don't need to see me sharing the screen that I'm sharing. But again, let me know, and I'll make sure that we put you in contact with that. The other thing is if you're in an airport and you see an ASO, go talk to the ASO representatives. They got mounds of information. Now, a lot of people don't know that you can go to the ASO, but you can go to the ASO. There's a lot of stuff. Almost every facility has one. Go check out the ASO. They're also a great resource.
Yeah, I tried doing that, and they're only letting people on military travel orders in there now.
Have they changed that?
Apparently, the USO, yeah, and the airports.
That's interesting. I've never had. Maybe
I tried going there. I had a really long layover. And tried going there, and they are only allowing people and their family members, people on travel orders.
Interesting. I hope they haven't changed that because that was an extremely valuable resource when I traveled. And I used to travel a lot. I would always go into the USO and sit down, have a drink, and read something and chat with other people. And
yeah, so, look it up and see, but they wouldn't allow me. Yeah, it's USO. Yeah. Active and reserve members on orders. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me check that real quick. Hold on.
I've never gone into it. But because when I was, I just never did when I was on orders traveling. But I just tried, not this last time, but the time before when I went to Tulsa. And, yep.
That would be a travesty. I hope that's not the case.
People on orders. Well, if it isn't, then they lied to me, and I don't know why they would. Lots of layover flights out of Philly. Yeah. I'd never, probably because every time I traveled, I had to run from gate to gate to gate. I didn't have time. Didn't have any, but this, I had a 4-hour layover. and I wanted to go in the USO, and they said nope, it was for. I just thought of it. I think I heard something over the loudspeaker or something, and it says it's for active duty and reserve on orders.
I don't see. I don't see Yoxnav in the blocked.
I don't see Yoxnav in the chat either.
There were a bunch of hidden users that I needed to go through and remove.
He was talking earlier.
Yeah, I wonder if somebody timed him out.
Wasn't me.
Yeah, accidentally.
And I didn't see. I have a wrench, and I didn't see anybody. So I can go back up and see. The last thing I see him say was DIC, DLC, and then nothing. So it could have been YouTube.
Maybe. But he's definitely not in the blocked. I've gone through.
This is Yoxnav. It's my son's account. Yeah, I don't see anybody.
And he's not in my Google block, so he's not in my my thing for Google. The Google
it's on your end.
blocking somebody, so
it's got to be on his
somebody
end.
might have timed him out. Tell him to go get a cup of coffee. He'll be back.
Well, it depends. You can time people out for like a whole day or something now too, right?
Yeah. Well, we're going to be turning it off. He's using
I would have
Dark Score's
seen
account.
it.
Yeah, there's no. I see his last post.
Yeah,
DLC or something like that. There's nothing after that.
And we should be able to see as moderators if you got.
And I don't see anything, so not sure why that's the case because it's not there. I've cleared my hidden people. There shouldn't be anybody hidden. I do have 2 people that have been banned from my channel, but it's definitely not Josh, even though sometimes I feel like doing it.
Yeah.
Just kidding, brother. No, so I'm not sure exactly why that happened, but
we'd give you a morning flight out of Oklahoma and catch 11 p.m. overseas flight to Philly. Stayed in the terminal all day long. Yeah, I mean, I've heard of people using the USO all the time, Chuck, but I never used it. And like I said,
okay, Chuck.
One time when I wanted to, and I found out it was only for people on orders. So
that's kind of a bummer, really. I mean, it's like because I utilize that a lot.
When was the last time you used it?
The last time I went to, 3.5, 4 years ago, pre-COVID. That was the last time I did any major traveling. I mean, when we went to, we had a significant layover when we went overseas, and my wife and I were in the USO. We were doing international travel. We stopped in, where did we go? Did we go to Houston or we go to Dallas? I think we were in Houston, and we were there for an hour and a half. We stopped into the USO there. Now we didn't stay very long, but we were there. So, hey, I'm being beckoned real fast. I'll be right back.
Okay. Eric, did you see Chuck's message?
I did. I said, okay, I'm waiting.
Oh. Why aren't you up here, Chuck? That's what I want to know.
He's doing tidbits and working, I think.
Yeah, he can do that and talk at the same time. My device.
What you got planned for the rest of the day? Anything exciting?
Yeah, I'm going to read this Looking Through Lincoln Sets.
Sweet.
That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get it nice and dog-eared before he signs it.
Editing a couple more web pages for the site. And that's about it for the day, I think.
Because I'm not getting into the chit-chat about current men affair. We're done with that, Chuck. I'm over it.
I didn't have much to say on that one. So...
yeah, I know. I'm over
I'm not, well, like I say, when I buy silver and gold, if I buy silver and gold, I go buy it and look at it and hold it in my hand. I'm not one of these people. I mean, I would buy from the U.S. Mint because I would hope that I wouldn't get anything counterfeit.
Yeah.
But buying a valuable coin from a mail order is just, I don't know. I have issues. And I understand.
I did look as the first time I think I mentioned that I saw the gold buffaloes in Tulsa.
Yeah.
They were selling them there at the U.S. Mints thing, and those are sure pretty. They are sure pretty. I think if I was going to get a gold U.S. Mint product, it would be that or the Merc dime.
I think the Merc dimes are cool. I think if I was going to go out and look to buy a gold coin, I would go get a St. Gaudens. I would just buy an old one.
They are beautiful.
When you look at them real close, they're actually gold did not strike well back then. It looks like, and they're always kind of not real sharp, you know.
What's the rarity number for the flowing hair repop metal? What's a repop?
The one that you guys are talking about, the silver one. Well, they made 75,000 of them. I'm not sure how that rarity scale works.
1,794 the privies. Yeah.
What it would be, URS 3, 2, something like that?
I don't know what.
Let's see if I can find the URS scale.
So the regular metal and the privy are going to be different. 1,700.
Universal rarity scale. Let's see if they give you.
And we're not going to get those numbers right now anyway.
Well, I mean, if they manufactured 70,000, you can get an idea. All right. The 230 would be URS 9. The actual 70,000 would be URS 18.
What?
Universal rarity scale.
It goes up to 18.
It goes up to 20. Anything? And
are you looking on PCG? Are you looking at PCGS?
No, that PCGS, when they're saying their rarity scale, they're talking about they've got 30 graded.
Right.
It would be URS 6.
What rarity scale are you looking at?
It's a precious metal coin rarity scale.
Precious metal.
No, it's the coin rarity scale. It is.
Well, there's different ones, Eric. That's
the
what
one
I'm
that
asking.
was the one that was published in Coin World. It says URS 1 is one coin. URS basically.
Okay.
The scale was divided. Let's look at Variety Vista. He's got. Yeah.
But where are you seeing these numbers for the?
Well, I would show you, but
1 and 20.
Frosty's
the URS Provident Metals between 1 and 20. The URS.
Yeah, but look at Variety Vista. He actually
you can share it if you want, Eric. Pull it up. I'll share. I'll pull it up.
It goes up to URS 23, and URS 23 would be up to 4 million.
But a different. So okay, and I guess I'm not.
So like 230 would be URS.
So PCGS uses a 10-point scale. That's why I'm asking who's.
This is the URS. Actual universal rarity scale that was devised by David Bowers back in the day.
1 is common, 10 is unique.
Yes. 1 known is unique, 2 known is URS 2, 3 known is URS 3, 5 known is URS 4, 9 to 16 is URS 5, 17 to 32 is URS 6, 33 to 64 is URS 7, and then you get up into 70,000 would be URS 18. How many of the gold coins are they making?
That's going by mintage, right?
Well, it's the scale in general. If you go like a die variety, if PCGS is graded 6, it would say URS.
I'm out. 2. I'm not because there's different rarity scales. That's why
This is the general rarity scale that is used in by Kaneka, by most coin dealers.
So Chuck says that scale is used only by a fraction of collectors. There are 2 other scales that are used by others, numbered backwards from that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm not sure of what PCGS uses because I don't use PCGS. I think it's more of a waste of money for the coins that I do.
My coin that has only 10 left. I got less, not less than 5. Premium metal.
I love you, Chuck.
Is useless. I don't know. Yeah, and Invisible River Ranch, like you can't compare apples to oranges. You know, like you can't compare an original 1794 flowing hair dollar to the restrike or to these metals,
or
the coin,
the Stella.
Coin. The dollar coin versus the dollar medal, or the not in dollar versus the silver medal. You can't. That's like apples to oranges. Stella.
I saw one of those restrikes come up for auction.
Cherry Picker's Guide.
Love that piece. Hall, is that a grading company? I don't know what Hall is.
I'll be right back. I'm going to go get some more coffee before they turn it off and it's ice cold.
Yeah, I don't know what Hall is, Cassie. Chuck, can you elaborate on what Hall is?
Yeah, ANA uses the one that's developed by Bowers, according to the ANA.
Redeem coffee.
And it is what's called an endless scale. So if they make 40 million, they'll just increase the numbers.
Okay.
Oh, I've got a problem. Great Scott, I'll have to figure that out. I think when my update happened, it wiped out my stuff. I'm going to have to look at that.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with the Hall scale or what EAC is. But ANA and Bowers are the same. Let's see, EA.
Yeah, and that's I see the rarity. That confuses the hell out of me. I don't ever look at that because I never know what it means. It's nothing I've actually ever tried to dive into.
The EAC universal rarity scale has to do with consumption and coins, stuff going out of circulation. Looks like.
Chuck wants to come out.
Nope.
Send him a link.
Yeah.
Same link.
Link me. He says link me.
Oh, you saved your email. Hold on, just that. I just realized what he's talking about. He's like, I lost my email when I kicked it out. I'm like, well, just look at your email. And I was like, oh wait, hold on.
Like there is human element. We want to be what? What are you talking about? Invisible River Range. I'm so lost. Tell them folk that are trying to get $8,000 for it. Super rare to them. Oh, well, I mean, I've got coins that if you want to buy it, I'll sell it to you, but you're going to pay. It doesn't mean that's what it should be.
Email sent, Chuck.
I'll sell you my 55 double die, $10,000 right now. Out the door. Out the door.
That's a coin that's appreciated pretty good in the last 5 years.
That's the only way I'm selling it. I won't ever get that, but out the door right now.
Yeah, I'd never be able to buy one of those.
Yeah, you would. I know for a fact you would. You could buy one right now. You got a privy marked coin you could sell today and buy a really nice 1955 double die. It's all perspective, Frostbyte. If you saved money that you've been for a year that you would normally spend on silver or whatever, if you just pocketed that in a year, you could buy a really nice one.
Chuck, let me know if you got that email.
Oh, fuck. Oh, sorry.
Oh!
I'm doing something here and it's not working out right.
Making courthouse puns. Guilty.
It doesn't want to let you in. Why doesn't it want to let you in?
Hang on. Studio Restream. Let me see if I can I copy this link and then send it to him in Messenger?
Should allow you in. I got 10 guests. Not sure why it won't let you in.
Hey, it was in yesterday. We had 4 yesterday, so it should work.
Yeah.
Try that, Chuck. Try that, Chuck. I sent it to you Messenger. I think I did. Yeah, there it goes.
That's weird.
All right, let me look at. I got those pictures from Chuck, so I can look at those now.
Normally, I donate to the square jar. You know they need to
love you too.
This for a while.
Ancients, if they, there's only one ancient I want, and it's that Athenian owl.
Oh.
And there's a specific one, but I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I'd have to see it to tell you which one it is.
I can't afford the one.
But there's a specific one I want. It's probably the same one I want.
I haven't done this for a while.
I think they're cool as heck, but
there's 5 gifted memberships to you all out there. Hope you have a wonderful Veterans Day.
Aw. Eunice got one. Jackknife. Adam Hartman.
Wow, that's kind of neat, Chuck.
Numismatic. What? Share with the class.
He sent me pictures of a 1970s double die reverse.
Nice. A drachma. Yeah, it might be that. Might be a drachma.
The one that I want is the gold Julius Caesar. It only sells for like 270,000. So.
Yeah. No worries.
Yeah.
Just buy 3 or 4 of them and get me one too.
I'll go write a check right now. Unable
to
connect.
That's the easy way out.
That makes sense.
Chuck, try
yesterday.
Yeah. I don't know why it would say that.
Oh, speaking of Invisible River Ranch, you want to know one of my favorite jokes?
Uh-oh.
Try closing stuff and then coming back in. I don't know.
Caesar is dead. Let us pray. Get it?
Caesar I don't get it. Dead. Oh, lettuce?
Lettuce. Pray.
Lettuce. I get it.
Yeah, Caesar is dead. Let us pray. All right. Anyway.
Lettuce. Salad.
Stupid
Caesar
dad
salad.
jokes. I told you the one about Bifrost yesterday. I sent Bifrost to the grocery store, told her to get some karate broccoli or karate trees. And she called me. She goes, Dad, they don't know what karate trees are. And I said, oh, it might go by the name broccoli.
Oh my gosh, broccoli. Guy. Lettuce, I get it.
Somehow that let me in.
What'd you do?
I just closed a couple of things.
You must have had. You may have had a window open for something else that was.
Maybe. So, what's up?
There
How
we go.
are you?
I'm okay. Just working on stuff. So yeah, what I was saying is that URS as a general idea, the universal rarity scale as a general idea is completely useless because there are at least 3 or 4 different published ones and everybody goes by one of them and calls it the universal scale. Well, it's not universal if there's so many people using them.
That EAC one actually isn't a rarity scale. It's based on consumption. It's not based on what's out there.
Right. Well,
yeah, but they shouldn't call it URS.
No, they shouldn't. And none of them should call it a universal anything unless it really is universal. It's just like grading scales. PCGS's grading scale, NGC's grading scale, ANAC's grading scale, and the ANA grading scale are 4 different grading scales, but they're all called the grading scale.
Yeah.
Well, technically, I think ANACs and ANA are supposed to be the same. I just said supposed to be. I didn't.
Well, ANAC supposedly uses the ANA grading.
Right.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
and so does CAP grading.
That hasn't really been the case since ANAC
since they were owned by the
ANA shell.
Yeah. But it goes back to subjectivity.
But that's generally what I was trying to put forth in the chat, was that these systems are completely useless until someone decides to connect all of them and make them the same thing.
Yeah.
And nobody wants to do that because everybody wants,
it
to be theirs.
Which it totally makes them all useless, because if it's the same thing that happened when I was using a particular die variety assigning system, and then Billy Crawford came along and used the exact same initials for his. And it was the CDDO, CDDR, CRPM system. I was using it for copper coins. He was using it for Crawford.
Yeah.
But he did the exact same thing I did, so I abandoned it and made a better system. And at that point, I copyrighted mine, and it's not any good anymore, but I sent an enclosed copy of the whole system, how it worked and everything, to a person to hold on to for me in a stamped envelope that had a date on it that showed that I developed it, and I developed it first.
So here's a question. I almost called it a stupid question. It might be. Anyway.
All questions are stupid until you ask them.
Exactly. Well, anyway, when it comes to the universal rarity scale or whatever, any of them, pick one. Is that surviving population? Is it
it's supposed to be
rarities?
And that was, like I was saying, the EAC, with the little bit I could find on it, that rarity scale was based on consumption. So
what do you mean consumption? Nobody eats coins. What are you talking about?
Consumption is they pull as they come out of circulation. So it would change over time.
It still doesn't make sense.
I know it doesn't make sense. I think that's why people probably don't use that one when they refer to it. I don't think they're referring to that.
Okay, I dealt directly with an officer in the EAC for a number of years, and his way of looking at their rarity scale is pieces known, not pieces minted.
Right, but it changes over consumption. That's what they call it, because it's not just used.
Still don't understand the word consumption.
All sorts of collectibles.
I still don't understand the word consumption. What do you mean consumption?
It's a basic collectible scale. If they made 4 million of them, the first year that 4 million of them are available, there's 4 million. 10 years later, they do a census on them and they say, oh, there's only 1 million. The URS changes.
A census of surviving pieces?
Yeah, well, that's a survivability. That's a surviving.
That's what I'm saying. It's
and that's what I mean by consumption.
Well, we don't generally call it consumption.
As the product is consumed. I mean, when it goes back and melted down, it's consumed. That's what they use as a terminology. Don't shoot the messenger.
So do they go
I understand, but consumption is either tuberculosis or eating something. So
I'm just using the word. I could only find one article on the EAC rarity scale, and it said that it was based on all collectibles, not just
probably a really good reason for that.
Right. That nobody uses it. So when you see URS, most likely it's the ANA/Bowers scale.
And that URS, a 1 is what?
URS of 1 is URS 1.
Well, what is it? What does it mean?
One coin. One example.
I guess that means
unknown.
it's the most rare.
Okay, well, that was kind of the place I was going with.
Me too.
My understanding of the URS, a 1 is unique. Only one exists.
It's unique, right? And URS 2 is from 2 to 5.
But to the EAC and a whole lot of other people, a URS of 1 means it's common.
Yes, that was my point. Like that was exactly what I was trying to figure out.
I mean, like I say, there's not much available on it. The only thing that it was really specific about is that it was a scale that was used in all of collectibles, not just coins.
And I can tell you that most modern
cards and stuff like that too.
Most modern Lincoln cent mintage goes from URS 32 to US 35.
They have 2023 was 40 million, I think. Oh yeah, there's billions. So yeah, it would be 35.
Yeah. It's a mathematical thing. There's a mathematical way of achieving all the different URS scale numbers up into the 50s and 60s and 70s. You're talking about 20, 30, 50, 100 billion.
Somebody was asking about the flowing hair, and they made 75,000 of them, and I just looked at the one that was 75,000.
Oh, the URS on that would be what, about an 8 or 9?
18, I think. It was 18?
Okay.
Yeah,
but I don't really deal with it that way, because if you take the 75,000 mintage and you subtract any of them that could have been melted, you subtract any of them that were returned and destroyed.
Well, that's okay. That you don't know that information, though.
No, you don't know that information. So any URS you give it is going to be invalid.
Right.
That's what I was trying to say about when Invisible River Ranch was asking about the flowing hair. So that's to yet be determined. Like, I mean,
they say they minted 75,000. So at minting, it were 75,000. So it'd be URS 18 at that time.
But
how many are I know? How many get returned? How many get melted down?
No, how many is there any conditional rarities? Like, were there any
any die varieties? That's how die variety. That's why Koneka uses it.
How many conditional rarities all basically have to be counted on numbers.
Right.
And those conditional rarities are based on slabbed coins. They're not based on existing conditioned coins.
Their population. That's what I'm saying. It's a whole other population.
It's based on population of who wanted to pay the money to send in a coin and take a chance that they, had good coffee this morning and they're going to give them a 70. I mean, that's basically what that boils down to. Of course, you can tell my opinion of the grading systems right off the top.
Really, like I say, unless it's something very, a real valuable coin, I just don't see it for $100 coins. To me, you're taking all the meat off the bone of a good find, unless you want to keep it in just, for preservation purposes. But even then,
what are we talking about?
I'm just talking randomly using PCGS to slab any of the coins I collect. Most of the coins I collect aren't worth to be slabbed. I've got a lot of $100 coins.
Collect aren't worth being slabbed.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
I wouldn't spend the money on a $100 coin. I wouldn't spend $65 to have a variety attribution in it all said and done.
The difference in that all comes, what is it worth to you? That's it worth it exactly to you to have it protected in that fashion?
And who was that fellow that we were talking to at the fun show 2 years ago? Another thing people don't realize about slabbing. He taught me this.
Dude, I couldn't tell you what I had for dinner last night. What you asked me about a year ago?
Collection of Lincoln cents.
Slabbing is also great for if your family inherits
right.
Your collection, if you want to sell to somebody sight unseen or whatever. I mean,
and that is only considering the grading company got it right when they attributed
it.
Yeah, he sends his coins in to be reslabbed every 10 years.
I would make sure.
And I says, you have to do that? He says, yeah, you have to do that. It's plastic. Oxygen penetrates plastic.
For Lincoln cents.
So you have to reslab them every 10 years. All the coins he says he gets them reslabbed every 10 years.
I don't know why he would do that with anything other than copper.
Oh, I don't know. If you saw his collection, I'm not doubting what he said.
I'm not doubting him either. But I mean, is that a risk analysis type thing, or is that actual truth?
Oh, it probably is. He probably knows that stuff does deteriorate over time, and you don't have to do anything. It can sit in a box, never being touched, and the seal could break. Look at windows on houses. They make these windows that are all sealed up, and all of a sudden you look and they're fogged up because the seal broke. Nothing happened to it. It just happens. I mean, we live in an imperfect world.
Well, I've also seen coins based on where they're stored. I've seen slabbed coins go to shit inside of 50 minutes.
Oh, I got a great example of a 95 double die that I had slabbed, and it's a PCGS 66. And within 6 months, it had this huge ass thumbprint on the front of it that wasn't there when I got the coin back. So somebody put their nice toasty front thumbprint, and it could have been before I got the coin, I suppose. I don't know.
A lot of the slabs back in the 90s, especially the rattlers and the old green holders for PCGS, they turn yellow if you leave them in the sun.
Well, that's what I guess that was probably what his point was. The slabs, the material deteriorates. I mean, even look at CDs. CDs were supposed to be able to hold your data forever. They found out that they just only last 4 or 5 years, and then the plastic deteriorates.
Yeah.
So
that's because people wanted to buy them for less than $20 a piece.
Yeah. Well, but that shows that, that he might have something to say by reholdering his coins every 10 years.
Whoa.
The plastic gets old, and plastic is porous. That's one thing that people don't realize. Oxygen does pass through plastic.
That would be correct.
Yep.
Of course, actually, when you go down to the atomic level, everything's porous. So
Invisible River asked a question. According to the SRM, the total mintage for the metal is a rarity of 2.2. However, the privy mark with certificate is a 6.7, and the other one is 4.
And that makes 0 sense to me because the certificate has nothing to do with the coin. The metal.
Yeah, I don't even know what the SRM scale is.
That should not be included in any type of rarity or anything like that.
Yep.
I just
so when you're talking about they're scarce is what they're listed as.
Well, rarity is only one small determinant on the value of something. You also have what's called supply and demand.
Yeah.
And I've got a lot of stuff that's nearly unique that probably has zero market.
Well, you just sent me a coin today. Whose coin was that? Your coin?
No, it's Paul's.
It looks legit to me.
You think so?
Well, the thing that I have a problem with is the dot.
I want to see.
Yeah, show the picture. Show the picture or shut your trap.
I want to see. Share with the class.
Right? Here, let me try.
I got it.
Okay. Good Lord.
Good Lord.
What I'm especially looking at more than anything else is the apparent side-to-side doubling in the U of pluribus, the last U of pluribus.
And then you go
that one.
That U
right there.
And that S and this U, but then you go back to this one, and even on the E, that little diagonal cut.
Yeah, that's a notch.
I liked that.
And then that little diagonal cut right there.
And then we're going to go double die on this, huh?
I liked that second
the issue that I had, you know how my theory is, but where are you going to find one? Right here don't look bad either.
Yeah. Where are you going to find one? Anytime you look at 1917S,
that's the issue. You know how I feel. Well, look at the top of the T. It almost looks like there could be something there, but you can't tell. It could be a scratch.
That could be. I'm looking at what's definite, and what's definite to me is the last U in pluribus. That kind of nails it down.
So you can see it on this right above the T. It's almost like that 48D double die reverse.
See you later, bud. Have a good day.
But you can see it on this
amazing thing, technology. I still got this with the light sitting under the scope exactly how I photographed it. And now there's somebody 1,000 miles away showing it on a screen in someone's stream who's 1,500 miles away.
Yeah, it's interesting.
That second U in pluribus is not just like squished or, I mean, it's distorted.
The issue
for sure.
I don't have is you would think with this cut right here, this cut right here,
you would see obvious doubling. Yeah,
there would kind of be doubling here. Well,
what else can it be? I mean, it's not machine doubling.
No, it's not.
Mm-mm.
It's
oops.
Oh, pizza! Is there onions on that? Oh, that
right
looks
there. Go ahead
delicious.
and put that back up.
That was dinner yesterday. I made pizza for myself.
Oh, he's got red onion.
Pizza and a cast
that right
iron
there is
skillet.
the perfect companion to a beer.
Oh my gosh, that looks so good.
It was. If you just if you want to make a good homemade pizza, YouTube the cast iron skillet pizza. They're very good.
Do you have pictures of the wheat stalks?
The wheat,
not really. What
Chuck,
you see
you have
is
the coin, right?
I have the coin in hand. Yes.
You want to pull up your scope?
No.
Right.
He's like, no.
Let's see.
I would be interested to see the top of the T of scent.
I really like that second U though.
Even the S.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this dot almost does look like it's pulled a little bit.
Wait a minute. What am I doing here?
I'm going to get rid of mine.
Sources. Display capture. That's what it is. It's on display capture. So I need to take this out of here and bring this up and go back to this.
What's special? The dot on the letters.
This is live.
Beauty.
As we look at it. Now what do we want to see?
We want to go in, hit the T first, then go hit the wheat stalks.
Hit the T.
Yeah.
Oh.
Look at the top of the T. Yeah, and I can't confirm or deny. I
don't see anything.
I don't see it there.
But go while you got it close like that. Go in on that U.
That's huge.
Come on. Yeah. Come on.
There's a straight line right there too.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure I see separation lines. This would be a lot easier if the coin was in better shape.
That's it.
But
this dot almost does look like it's pulled.
Set it aside and
northwest, southeast.
Another example.
Well, I don't have that luxury. I have a collector waiting for me to return it.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a 17S.
Undetermined.
Yeah.
At this time.
I don't like doing that when I don't have to.
Is this Techstars coin?
No. Paul. Sasso.
Paul Hampton?
Sasso.
Oh, Sasso. All right.
Possible, but undetermined at this time. Unable to verify.
It's actually not a terrible coin. It's actually nice.
It's a decent coin. I mean, it's a fine.
Yeah.
I don't know. Now I'm looking at that Liberty. I'm thinking maybe
that looks squished.
Yeah,
that looks squished.
But you don't get that kind of distortion like you have on this U.
Yeah, it's the distortion, exactly. That's
the B
what I'm
right here on the B.
It's that distortion. It's not just like squished. It's like it's like pushed.
It's like Chuck always says, like pulling taffy.
Yeah. It reminds me a lot of the 2004 double die reverse.
But when you're looking at here, that right edge where it's kind of
flat,
squared off flat.
Well, there's damage to it for sure. I mean, there's
plenty of damage to the letters on this. I mean, this is a worn coin.
Oh, come on. I don't know.
I'm starting to have trouble with.
Now I'm having issues with it when it's that direction. When you flip it over, it looks much better.
Yeah, well.
But you know what? This is kind of pulled northeast when you look at it that direction too.
But you can, I mean, what I'm seeing a little bit of a separation right here. I'm seeing a separation inside here.
Right.
Yep.
And of course, if I flip it over, you may or may not be able to see the same thing.
But then you see the cuts.
You still see it in the E.
The top of the E.
You still see it in that curvature of the E.
You can see it here too, but I had a hard time. This is like a new style. This is not something that we're used to seeing. This is more like a pull and drag type doubling. And I would have to go with a class 6 on this, but this is a very unconventional class 6. Because my thought is that it can't be a class 1 or a class 5 because both of those would show clear separation. Now, that could change if I get a better condition coin and see clear separation. If I see clear separation, then it is a class 5. Class 5K 6 or 7. Invisible River, this wouldn't be an early stage. This is much later.
And you know, I would buy the class 6 actually. Just by the way, the flatness on the one side and the diagonals, the way they're cut.
Yeah. But then, I mean, class 6 can be based on location, yes, but I'm really kind of wondering, could it be that different from right there to right there?
Right there.
My problem is the dots.
Right, the dots don't show it. And what the heck is that raised thing right there?
I think that's just moved metal. I think because there's so much circulation wear on it that it's just smooth. It's just smooth the way any, signs of a hit.
Well, usually turning it is going to show you. Sorry for making everybody drunk here.
It's the process.
Yeah.
That's incuse. That looks, when you flip it over, it looks like it's standing out.
Yeah. But look at that S and that U. Right. And the B. And you can almost see it in the B, like in the middle of the B. Yep. And the I has that pulled taffy.
And you look at the bottom of the U in that direction.
Yeah. Especially right over in here where it's a lot wider here than it is right here. I don't know. That's why I sent it. It confused me.
I just don't think without a second example that you can really be able to confirm it.
Well, I'm a little more on the side of list it until someone proves me wrong.
Until someone proves you wrong. Yeah.
But I'm kind of more like Wexler than I am like Wiles.
Yeah, and put the
more likely than not.
I love how
Wiles will err on the side of caution. How many things has he not listed and people don't see because he doesn't list it? It's too minor. You can't.
Are we talking about Dr. Wiles?
We've talked about that. Yeah. How frustrating that is.
And there's 1,000 people out there with an example in their collection waiting for a number to attach to it.
Yep. And in fact, I think we talked about that a long time ago on the Q&A, Chuck, how if somebody has taken the time to search for something, taken the time to take pictures, taken the time to stick it in the mail to you, paid money for you to look at it, you determine it is a double die, but you don't think it's worth listing, that's crap.
Well, that's why I always attach a disclaimer.
List it.
The copper coin rule.
The 10x. If you're looking at a 60x microscope,
right,
and you
see separation,
get a 10x loop out. If you can't see it with a 10x loop, don't send it.
Yeah,
right.
That's what I always say.
Well, the copper coins rule on this, my evidentiary rule is if I can see it, I consider it. And when I consider it, I'm considering it in all die states and in all grades. Yeah. If it's something that's going to disappear as soon as it goes down to AU because it's such a luster dependent item, I don't list it because it's so.
JT Stanton, when he said the 10x thing, that actually, because somebody who's really attuned to looking through a loop, you can see a lot through a 10x loop.
But so let's go back to this coin.
Yep.
Oh,
this has been around a long time.
Sure.
And you would think as easily as we're seeing this and thinking what we're seeing, why has nobody found something in better condition?
Because nobody's bothered looking.
Stronger.
Because they're not looking.
Stronger.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand that a lot of people don't look at the reverses of coins.
Well, that's just years ago. Varieties for 17S, so people just don't look at them.
Right. 5 or 6 years ago, there was a really nice double die found on a 1919S dime. It was on the obverse.
No, I know. Oh, yes.
And that was the first time that had ever been reported, ever been found by anybody who knew what they were doing and sent it in and had somebody photograph it and list it. And then it suddenly became an FS listed rarity.
Right, right.
Now another dozen of those have showed up because people know to look for it now.
But you look.
Well, he probably hasn't looked. That's probably it. He's probably got 2 tubes of them that he could look through, though.
Oh, yeah, for the 17S?
Yeah.
Oh, you bet your butt.
I mean, that would probably be something that I would do.
17S probably doesn't have any more than about, what, maybe 10 or 15 die pairs?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like we didn't look through a couple thousand 1909s.
Don't remind me.
Yeah, my eyeball, if I never see another one, I'll be fine.
I still feel like I had blunt sticks stuck in my eyes.
Oh.
Yeah.
I probably have a dozen of these. Do you want me to look through mine?
This stuff is fun, they say.
Yeah. It actually is, and it relaxes me, but that was beyond relaxation.
Yeah.
That got to the point of not being relaxing.
I got a graphic that goes.
And you know, what's the chance of going to a dealer at a coin show and saying, "Hey, you got any 1909 VDB or 1909 cents? Oh yeah, here, there's 300 or 400 in this box."
Knock yourself out.
Yeah, I was just like, oh man, I just wasting 3 hours of my life.
All you could ever want, right there.
Right. You know, I thought it was bad. We're in Chuck's room and we're going through them, and he's got like 3 or 4 tubes of them full, and they're all AU, BU, and we're looking at them, and I'm like, well, man, I've about had enough of this. And we're going to go to this coin show in Dalton. Let's see. And there was so many at that coin show. I was like, oh my God, somebody's doing this on purpose.
Right.
It's what it felt like.
But the thing is, after all that we looked through, we only found a small handful that had
a couple. And that's what my issue with that whole thing is. It's not, you
can't have 60 eyes of something and only find a couple of them.
It's a mathematical issue to me.
Yeah, totally. There's no way that what is published can be 100%
can be true. Correct. It's impossible. Yeah.
So that's why we keep looking and we figure it out.
That's why we keep the research going. It is a great subject to research, and it is very interesting, but you can only take it in small doses.
I had a meme and I lost it. That should be a meme all in itself.
That's like that 1910 with the reverse of 09.
Stop it.
Yeah.
You know, Brian texted me the one day and he says, "Yeah, I found 6 of them this weekend."
Right.
So, you know,
but then you got somebody else thinking they're worth $3,000 or $4,000 a piece.
Right. And somebody else that'll tell you they're all different.
Yeah. Well, right. that too. Yeah. And,
you've got 10 new listings.
I did the most interesting thing that I found doing that was finding that the master die was used all the way into the 20s. Had the same die scratches and same markers all the way into the 20s.
Yeah.
That was kind of really cool.
That's where those scratches had to have come from. I mean, because it's identical through every different year. And that's a subject of another show.
That's a whole show in itself.
That's a whole show, right? That's 5 shows.
I'm about the point where I'm going to be wrapping this up. I got some stuff I need to take care of to get with.
Hey, I'm going to get going, you guys. Everybody have a blessed Sunday. Chuck, I'm going to get this book out to you. I'm going to read it first, though, and then I'll send it to you.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right. I will see everybody soon. See everybody next weekend.
All right. Have a good one.
You, Chuck. Thanks for coming up and talking about this. I appreciate you, brother.
Okay. Thank you, man.
All right, y'all. Have a wonderful day. We'll resume. I might do something tomorrow for Veterans Day. Stay tuned. I don't know who's going to be doing what, but if you haven't already done so, go check out. Trying to find out how to get out of there.
Yeah. I haven't found it yet.
There. Let's do that. There you go. Got you out of there. All right. So there's a number of things going on today. Please go over and check out the Wounded Warrior Project. There's a huge benefit going on, so please go over and support that. Please do me a favor when you go over there, let people know that Frosty sent you over. All right, folks. Well, I'll let you know later on if we're going to go live tomorrow. Tiger and I might be talking about some stuff we did last night. If you haven't seen that, go see that. That was a lot of fun. But y'all be well, be blessed. Take care of yourselves. Copper Owl, hope you're well. Thank you so much for popping in. But y'all take care of yourselves. And remember that if you're a vet, you know a vet, or you're a caretaker of a vet, my hat's off to you. I appreciate you. Thanks for all you did. I salute you. All right, love you guys. Be well, be blessed, and I will see you guys in the streams. Take care.